Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast, where we find amazing people that did amazing stuff. I'm actually like on my IG Live, and I got to keep turning the camera because Donni definitely
Definitely need to be
Donni
seen.
needs to be seen, okay? Because we out here, man. We out here. I'm excited about this journey of these next podcasts because we've jumped over the 100 podcast mark.
Yep.
Which means we really, really, really got to hustle because the next milestone is 200.
Yeah.
We got to get to 200.
We got to get to 2.
And then the 2 is going to pull us to 3. The 3 is going to pull us to 4. Eventually we'll be like Joe Rogan. You got like 1,000 something episodes.
Let's get it. Let's get it. So you are about to be a brand new father.
Yes.
And just to give people an idea of how we plan, we just talked about like calendars. Earlier, we were having a conversation, and just to give people an idea about how we plan and create no excuses, because we know that you're about to go out and on paternity leave here pretty soon, we are literally going to film all day.
Yeah, absolutely. We're recording podcasts. We just have to stockpile, okay? Because we don't want you ever to miss something, okay?
Yeah.
And there's no skips of weeks and things of that nature. So, you guys are actually going to grow with us, okay? We're on the journey of a 7-figure business. Both of us, separate 7-figure businesses. We're on a journey to get Donni married off. And this is going to happen. You guys are going to be able to see this in real time. You're going to be
Y'all tag some potential husbands in...
Tag a potential husband.
Who should I be dating right now? I'm interested. Who should I be dating right now?
This should be a talk show. This should be like a show, a reality show.
No, we're not going to do that. We're definitely not going to make my love life a reality show. But I'm interested in hearing.
But based off real reality, though. Like actually happening, but like not for the cameras and for like creating drama. Well, let's just see.
Okay.
Really, I think if the cameras followed you, like the last few years, we'd probably see why you're single. Yo, let's jump into the podcast. Let's jump into the podcast, okay? So how was your week, Donni? How was your week?
That was ugly, Shans. That was really mean of you to say.
No, okay. Teachable moment, okay? You ready for the teachable moment?
Okay. Somebody's saying the Bachelorette. Hey.
The teachable moment is...
Wasn't that mean, you guys?
No. Let's say, for instance, you've not successfully built a business for the last few years. And you look back over the last few years, you'll find some of the reasons. Oh, you know what? This is why I couldn't keep a man. Not like that. No, I didn't do that. This is why I haven't been consistently building my business or building my brand. This is the teachable moment.
What's the lesson? I'm trying to figure it out.
I don't know. I'll try to clean it up.
All Shans is doing is trying to throw shade. Stop the damn audio. Let's start this over. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with this.
Yes.
So the people tune into us for entrepreneurial advice and topics and things like that.
And that's where we're going to stay.
Dating me isn't one of them, right? However, if you do know of someone who you think I would, I just want to know who you think I would.
Just want to know what's happening.
I just want to know. I want to see what's up out there. Who do you guys think I should be dating? You can DM me that information.
Oh, yeah. And I wasn't even saying it. I was just saying that's a part of the journey of you are going to be able to see all of it, right?
Yeah. This is, in all seriousness, so we were just talking, and Shans and I are on this journey in 2021 to hit 7 figures in a 12-month period. We've both come really, really, really close, but had to shift some things around in terms of scaling our business.
I don't know if I was really, really, really. Maybe
you were
really, but not really, really, really.
Okay, so
and I don't
really
know if
close.
It was like this.
Was it more like this?
Yeah, like that.
It was
I don't know
like
if it was
this.
like like you look through like really close.
Can't look. We can see from a distance. But no, this is my millionaire and marriage year. And I want to qualify with marriage. It doesn't mean that I intend to get married in the calendar year of 2021, but I definitely want to be more intentional about dating for marriage.
Really?
That is, that's been like my flaw, dating for marriage. And shout out to...
I didn't know it was a goal. I didn't know it was like, that's really one of your serious goals.
To get married? Why do you think I don't want to get married?
No. I know you want to get married, but I didn't know like in terms of a serious goal.
No,
I don't know. No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
This is actually one of my, that's actually one of my goals is to start dating for marriage. And I know people are just really hearing me speak about being single for the first time on my live. Shout out to my ex. He was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Super amazing. No names. Shout out to my ex. He was absolutely
doing shout outs?
amazing. So I'm not taking that away from him, and none of that is for that reason. But it's time to be in alignment. It's time to be in alignment and date with the marriage mindset. I think we were dating with marriage mindset. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. All right. Oh, that's an interesting question. Not moving the podcast to this direction, but it's like, would you rather, can somebody just hold this instead of it being
You mean
in front
like,
of it? Yeah, like right here.
Put it on the clamp?
Not put it on the clamp because it's going to go out again.
Is it? Oh, because you got to keep tapping it?
All right, so y'all, I'm about to stop this live anyway because I really want to
we haven't even given them good stuff yet.
I know, but I can't focus on both of them at the same time.
Can you just keep tapping the screen?
Good quality pod.
Here, let me.
Okay. All right, cool. Here's oh my gosh, yo. Here's the question. Would an entrepreneur prefer to date another entrepreneur, or does an entrepreneur prefer to not date an entrepreneur? I honestly prefer not to. My wife isn't an entrepreneur. She's just kind of getting in that space. But see how we can't do an effective pod while we're worrying about IG. You know what I mean?
I feel like I just got reprimanded by my father.
No, this is a teachable moment. This is a teachable moment. We're trying to do like a
multitask.
We got an IG live here, YouTube podcast here, and it's challenging, right? And I think it might be affecting the quality of this podcast or the quality of the IG. Because if you're on IG, you're live, you're directed, right? Podcast, same thing. Some people are trying to manage 2 social media accounts, and it doesn't work. But if you stopped and you focused on one, it'd be more targeted. You won't feel so divided. So IG people think, people on IG, they're like, yo, he's not giving us their full undivided attention. People on the podcast are like, yo, he's not giving us their full undivided attention, right? That's a teachable moment. What were you about to say, Seth?
Someone was asking, and I was trying to
the mic.
Hit the mic.
The mic. Be on the mic, yeah.
Someone was asking I guess it's for both of y'all, what do y'all put in your notebooks? Because they see your notebook and it's like filled all the way through. So if you kind of wanted to tap in on that.
This is like my 10th notebook though. Okay. So don't act like I'm lacking on notes. I put all kind of stuff.
Like does it start from just a thought, or do you go off do you hear people out and kind of take notes, or what makes you like write down everything you write down?
I never want to lose a good idea in my notebook. I never want to lose a good idea, whether I come up with it or somebody else comes up with it. It's in our line of work, it's too expensive to lose a good idea. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, this is all the stuff that's going to create your 7 figures, 8 figures. In 3 years, you're going to go back. You're probably still going to be referring to some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So what's in the notebook? I got all kind of stuff. I got my formulas. In terms of formulas, it's like, okay, what am I going to teach? I did a call, Building Your Dream Team. And I focused on building, which is the process of building or constructing something. We started talking about the person that's building the dream team. Dream, like, let's focus on what the dream is, what's the vision, and then the team, what you're going to need to accomplish this part, like who you're going to need. So Building Your Dream Team was the title, and I took every single word to teach it. But that came to me right before I was about to teach it. And I'm like, oh, this is good. So if I'm on stage another day, I can refer back to this and say, yo, this is what I'm going to teach. And you'll probably see Donni throughout this conversation referring back to the notes. So.
Mm-hmm. Same. So my notebook is full of I have some to-dos. I have a couple of client notes. So my business, my notebook is really like my business Bible. This notebook is like raggedy now because I've been using it so long. I have different notebooks for a couple of different things, but this is like my master plan notebook. I have notes about
our mastermind, January 10th, 2021.
There's our notes from our mastermind.
And we did nothing with that mastermind.
We did nothing with that mastermind, but we're going to do something with that mastermind. Everything, timing.
Yeah,
everything,
100%.
timing. 100%. So in here are some to-dos that I have to do that are really important, like the to-dos that have to get done, not like that whole list that's in the head of stuff that you got to get done. Mm-hmm. And then also I got notes about courses that I want to create, notes about future things that I want to do, notes from Clubhouse rooms. This is my notes from my training that I just did at your content creation bootcamp. Everything is...
It was so good. And you created that in the back. Like, why, like when you got here, you created it, which I think is a really good point. So I all of us that are coaches, and here's the thing. I don't know if I can trust a coach that needs a lot of time to prepare. Mm-hmm. Because you got to like craft something, which is not... So when Donnie's like, yo, okay, I get to the venue, I see what other people are talking about, I'm going to fill in what needs to be talked about. But because she does it so often, it's not like I'm creating something new. It's like, yo, this is what this particular audience needs at this time, and she was able to create it. Typically on the morning meetup, whatever I spoke about, that formula, it came up that like 5 minutes before the call or 10 minutes before the call, because we do it on a regular basis. I think that's really cool, because if like this is like all game, right?
This
and it doesn't take
you
long to create nothing new.
It doesn't. And so you bring up a good point in terms of being prepared. Mm-hmm. So yes, I did create this in the back of the room while I were here at the event. I do also have some standing prepared trainings,
For
right?
Sure. Same here.
But talking about just content isn't my everyday thing, but content is something that I do to build my business. And because I have trained on content before and I had a limited number of time, what I did back there was went through some of my other content trainings and pulled out the pieces that made sense here. So you see that I ripped out a piece of paper because I pulled out some notes from a previous training that as I observed the audience, I knew that they needed that information.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I think any good, let's say, basketball players, I don't think Steph Curry necessarily trains for the game. He trains to be effective, so that he's not practicing the last minute shot for that particular game. He wants to be effective at shooting, so he shoots all day long. And some people are trying to prepare for the game instead of being prepared for the game. Dang, that's a bar.
That's good.
Did you catch that? That's a bar?
That's good.
So no longer being prepared for the game, but being prepared for any game that comes about. So you could put me, you could put Donnie on any stage, especially if it's in our niche, in our field of expertise, we go. So that's really good. This is really cool. I like this kind of style of podcasting, but this is like with IG, I'm like thinking of Instagram too. I'm trying to think of the questions and the podcast.
Are we distracted right now?
I think I'm distracted.
I'm not. I actually, until you just said that, forgot that they were there.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not looking at all. I totally forgot that they were there. And probably because my phone is set up on a tripod, and then we have someone over here who's holding the phone, who's like waving for the charger and all kinds of other stuff.
All right, turn mine off.
We got questions?
Yeah, we can get the questions from Donnie's, because you know what? These are such good teachable moments. So, in terms of like a focus divided, it might not even be. I think, let's say, for instance, we're building a business, right? And there's too many outside factors that maybe don't have anything to do with the business. You really.
That's strong, Chance.
Go for it. Finish it.
No. You finish it.
Yeah. So there's so much to consider. Even if they're like really, really small things, it's still another thing to consider. So for instance, I have a let's say we're doing, okay, I have an Instagram page, main Instagram page. I want to post it, but I also want to post on my other page. And on the other page, I might have to take out some words to tailor it to that other page. It would seem very simplistic that I just take this, I copy and paste the caption, post it. But at the same time, I don't want to forget this other page that I'm managing. I put that post on there, copy and paste the caption, change the words a little bit, and post it. That doesn't seem like rocket science, but it's another small thing that I have to consider. And then I was studying like really, really successful people, and a lot of them wear the same clothes every single day. Thus, I'm low key from the bottom down. I look homeless in this. You'll roast my outfit. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to be more intentional about not being intentional about my outfit, because it's another thing for me to think about where I just want to put my mind, my focus, my attention on what I'm doing. And these small distractions mount up to a big distraction. So that's why you got to get rid of certain people. That's why I had to stop following certain people on social media, because it's these small things that take my attention that make me not 100% my best.
So let's relate it to entrepreneurship. So what are those small, what do those small things look like? Like, I immediately got so excited when you started making this point, because when you are trying to focus on building your dream or your thing, your passion, whatever it is, and now we got these outside voices. We got this noise coming in from the outside where we're allowing people to infiltrate our thought processes. And now we start thinking, we start looking at that, right? So we're trying to be focused, but we got the negativity coming in from parents, and we're trying to stay focused, but we got the negativity coming in from friends, and we're trying to stay focused, and we got people telling us that we've changed. And eventually so many distractions are going to come that your focus now shifts and you turn your head just a little bit and you start looking at these other things. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Exactly.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And now you're thrown off just that quickly.
Yeah.
This is the one, well, we've filmed over 100, you've been present for over 100 podcast episodes, and this is what you do every single day. And it's so easy for you to focus in and hone in on this, but we got something that's different that's outside of the environment now that's present, and you got thrown off.
Yeah.
You got thrown off.
Let me tell you what's going on in my head right now, and this is so good. In my head, what's going on, we're doing a podcast, but I'm thinking about Instagram, right? But in my head, and I can't stop it or control it, I'm like, well, at what point is 15 to 20 minutes up so we can stop it so they still go to watch the podcast? And then another thing says, okay, well, with Patreon, this would be a good idea if we're doing like, if they got access to the live joint while we're doing it. And then Aaron says, yo, we should do this live on YouTube. And all this stuff is going on in my head right now. And I can't stop it. I can't, like, I know myself. I just can't stop it. I'm considering, okay, are we taking questions from my live or Donnie's live? And all these things are happening in my head from one simple decision. Let's just go live.
And because I am an operations person and my job is to identify problems, right? And holes in the system, you know where my mind is?
Where?
Shut it down. Mm-hmm. We got to focus. Can you please shut it down?
It's not for Instagram.
Bye, you guys.
We're shutting down Instagram right now.
It down.
It's so wild that once you really start to get in tune with who you are, you know any small thing will take you off.
Yeah.
Any like, I know it takes an immense amount of focus to build anything big. And right now, I can't afford another step. I'm literally right now thinking, okay, the first 10 minutes are people going to stay? Was it too much? Was it too distracting? How are we going to edit it? I'm like, okay, let me remember what DeSeta said while he's editing, but I'm still trying to focus on the message. But we make these small decisions that lead to a mound of distractions. It immobilizes you in terms of like moving forward. So the question for us all are, what are the things that we're putting on our plate that may seem small and insignificant that's taking us totally off our game?
Ooh, strong.
What's up, Aaron?
Yes, sir.
With all that being said, just like how we started this, what happens when you add a person to all of these things? Now you got a mate, male or female, and now that person wants your attention. So how does that work into this entire ecosystem of social media and attention? Because now you got a person and not just a phone in your face needing attention.
That's good. You want me to go first or I can?
Yeah, because we're just going to force us into this whole relationship talk.
No, not really. We can touch on it, but I think it depends on who that mate is. I, right now, don't have to worry about dinner. I don't have to worry about necessarily making sure Corey's in class or doing her homework. A lot of times, I don't have to worry about my wife's. I don't have to worry about laundry and things of that nature. I know if I'm out working, she got it, right? So in that regard, it takes all these other decisions. So let's say when I first got married, I realized one of the major things were I can focus more on my business because I'm not out here chasing. Not saying I was chasing anybody, but as a single person, that's a part of your life you got to consider.
In your mind.
You feel me? You sitting there, it's 6:00 in the evening. It's not too late, still kind of early. What are we doing tonight? Do I want to hang out? I want to go get something to eat, but I'm not just trying to eat for eat's sake. I need to go somewhere where it's kind of lit in Atlanta. So I'm trying to figure out where to go and hang out. And it's another thing that's distracting me. And when I got married, I was like, yo, this is so amazing. Because I know where I'm going to be at 6:00. I'm at the crib. It's not another thing. Okay, who should I call? Who am I hanging out with? Who? So yeah, taking away decisions is vital, especially in the space where I'm in right now.
Yeah, I have no input on the dating part. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Look, once Donni finds, though, that thing that takes away, and it allows you to concentrate your efforts because I know I got to go really hard by 5:00 because I'm going home after that, which is really, really cool, which makes me more effective. Anyway, how was your week?
My week was amazing. I got a lot done this week, got some clarity that I needed for several of my clients or help them get some clarity in what we're doing next. We are about to be approaching second quarter here very soon. So we should already be thinking second quarter goals, right? Or second quarter implementation. We should already know what the second quarter goals are, but thinking implementation. So getting that thought work done was really big. And then, you know what? On a personal level, because I feel like people want to know just, what we do. Nothing happened. So how was your week?
The week was absolutely amazing, man. I can say that every single day is it gets better and better, especially we're waiting for, and kind of to the point we were just talking about, I'm waiting for our daughter to be born.
Yes.
And I'm trying to get it in right now because I'm shutting things down for a while. So I don't know about you, but before you go out of town, those are probably the most productive hours that you have.
For sure.
Because you want to get everything right. You're knocking it out. Bang, 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 bang. And then you know you're going to be gone for a couple of days. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
I get it.
Yeah.
The same thing, even, you're having your newborn, but I don't think especially if you're juggling entrepreneurship and becoming a parent or being a parent, it never changes. Like even when I know that my daughter is going to come home from college, I want to be shut down for those couple of hours or days that she's there. So most productive time, just banging it out, getting it done. I think the most important lesson though that I'm learning from you even
Hold on real quick. Can we there's a thermostat. Just turn that off over there. Sorry, go ahead.
Making no excuses, like making absolutely no excuses no matter what's going on. And the reason that you have been able to, you know what, Shan's like, you have no excuses. You're going to get it done. And it's a gift and a curse. You're going to get it done and you're going to get the result. You're going to get it done and you're also going to feel overwhelmed sometimes, right? 100% of the time. So are you interested in balance?
I don't know if balance is real. You know what I mean? Well, actually reading the one thing, I think it came from the one thing, where balance is an activity and not a goal or end result. Balance is like, yo, I'm balancing this plate, then I gotta come balance this plate. Like I gotta continue to have some sort of back and forth. So they use the example of the ballerina that stands on their toe. And you see the ballerina, they're on their toe and they're posing. But if you really zoom in on the foot, it's like this. Going back and forth, just making sure everything above looks balanced. So it's about creating certain systems, making sure the system's here, then getting back to the family. Making sure this works, then getting back to the family. So I don't know if a true everything's balanced actually exists.
That's a good point. Like even when things look balanced, you're still teetering back and forth on the scale. You're still putting that extra little, put that extra little ounce of something just to keep things balanced. And there's so many other outside influences, right? So you think about balancing like liquids or the ballerina. If the wind blows too hard, now you got to consider the wind.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yes, it's a constant check on this, check on that, check on this. It's like spinning plates. And some people say, when you got the guy spinning a basketball on his head and then his fingers and then his toes, and he just comes and hits that one. That one's good for a minute. You hit that one. That one's good for a minute. That one's good for a minute. But you got to keep checking on everything. That's life.
Yeah.
That's life. I don't think you ever get to a point where everything's good forever. Everything's balanced. Because there's always going to be something. Like, imagine getting to a plateau, but now you don't have that that activity that you're used to.
Yeah.
So now you're going back, okay, do I go build something else or do I chill? Well, if I chill, I'm going to be wondering, what else can I build? But if I go build, then I could get overwhelmed. And okay, well, what about while I'm building that, my spouse, whoever I'm with, they need that attention. But then you have a child and a spouse. And how do you balance the relationship time between your spouse and your child and the things that you got to do and then your own happiness? It never gets balanced. You always have to, spend time with the daughter, child, myself, work, my happiness, spirituality, back to my child. And it's a constant spinning of plates.
I think our needs are constantly changing. As we are growing and experiencing more, learning more, our needs are constantly changing. In business, the needs of our clients are evolving as well. The needs of our families are changing. So balance might be this false concept that so many people are chasing. Yeah.
I don't think it exists.
Maybe priorities over balance?
Balancing the priorities.
But then how do you do that if balance doesn't really exist?
Because you have, I'm sorry, not balancing, managing the priorities.
Managing the priorities. Yep. Managing the priorities sounds good. So tell me a couple of things right now that you're working on in your business that you've absolutely prioritized to get you to the next level.
Podcasts and the morning meetup.
Are those your two hero products? Like these 100%. Are the two things that are going to take you to 8 figures?
That's yes. Because I thought to make more money, you got to do more. And then I'm quickly realizing to make more money, you have to do less. So I don't need all of these different streams of income. I'm shutting down. I just shut down a stream of income. Called my boy yesterday. So I have a printing company where I print T-shirts. And the company might charge $6, right? But they'll charge me $4. I charge my client $5. So my client gets to save other than just walking into, finding their own print shop. I get to make some money. But what I do is I take the file, I send it to the printer. They print it. When it's done, they let me know. I come pick it up and deliver it to my client. Sounds like easy money. It is easy money. But I called my friend yesterday, my best friend, and I said, come over. I'm about to give you this business. And there's some people that still need to pay their balance that I didn't even give them the invoice for. They're like regular clients, so they'll pay it, no problem. I say, it's your money. I don't even want it. I'm walking away from that because I need to do less to make more. Because the time I'm spending sending the artwork, find out how many shirts you want, picking up the product, sending it to my client, the time that I'm spending right there, if I put it into my main project or my main business, it'll 10x my results. Just those little pieces of time. I don't need another thing to think about. And here's what set it off. My printer misprinted something for a client. And now I got to handle it. I'm going to make $60 to handle that problem. It's me saying, yo, let's just go IG. It's be easy. Let's do it. But now I'm thinking about all this kind of stuff. So I told my boy, yo, it's a couple people. I'm just going to show you how to collect the money. Actually, I'll call you. I said, come over. We'll call the people. I'll call them and say, yo, you want to pay this invoice? Just send the money to this Cash App. Send it to yours. I don't even want the money anymore. I'm shutting it down.
Not even taking anything, a percentage of it at all. Just totally gave it away.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And he would manage it. Yo, I'm going to give you the clients, you split it. But it's still another thing I think about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a big decision for some people. Like they got little trickles of money everywhere.
Yeah.
But if you cut off most of those and just go in on one, spend all that time in one, that one income will get you way more productivity than these little trickles where you're spreading yourself thin.
So I did the same thing with network marketing. You tried to pull me back in.
It'd be easy money, yo. You're going to get a little
Come on, Donni, it's an easy stream. It's an easy stream. I legitimately walked away from an industry that paid me 6 figures. And in my last company, I went to a company that I expected to get just such bigger results from. And I didn't. And it ended up being a headache. And there was a lot of politics in this company and just things that I don't have to deal with, right? And if I wake up every day and I got these text messages to address and team to talk to and leadership to talk to, and it's draining me. And the money was way down, right? The money was down. It was still, a good comma check every single month. I just had to it got to a point where do I go to another company because this income has been providing for a void or providing for my family for, since 2012, or do I just shut it down? And I had to really just take a week to say, because it's hard to walk away from money when you need the money. Yeah. But what I didn't need were the problems associated with it. And I had to really I had to bet on me, just like you are betting on you. I had to bet on me and say, can I replace this money by going all in teaching business? And
I want to touch on something that you just said, and we may be speaking from a position of privilege where we don't need that little money. We don't need that. But if somebody's saying, yo, I need every dollar that I can get. So what would you say to that person?
I needed it at that time. So at the time that I walked away, what I didn't need for clarity was the headache and the problems. I already had the headache and the problem of figuring out how I was going to get more clients, right? Figuring out how I was going to take my business to the next level. I have high overhead. So for me, it was not a situation of not needing the money. I needed to figure out how to make the money without those problems that were associated with it. So honestly, I stayed in certain places for so long because I used to have the mindset of I need the money, I need the money, I need the money. But then I started to see as I backed off of certain things and started to turn down opportunities, I made even more, like bigger opportunities, bigger results, bigger income came as a result of it. And I'm even doing it right now, like in business right now. You're doing it right now. You just shut down a major part of your business. And this will be to date our most successful years financially. I just think trimming the fat is really important.
For sure.
And you may be in a position where you feel like you need the money. And I'm not suggesting that if you need this money to pay your rent and to feed your kids, do that, but while creating an exit strategy.
Yeah, for sure. And I did that while I was at the Cheesecake Factory because I was shooting videos. Well, I know how to do this stuff. I was shooting like music videos for people. And the guy would pay me $600. Like people would pay me $600 to do videos while working at the Cheesecake Factory. I'm making $600 a week. No brainer, go take the gig a day, shoot it, come back, edit it, and I make the money that I would make in a week in a day. But at this point, I started my t-shirt brand, Sleep is for Suckers. And my mentor was like, yo, you got to shut it down. You need to develop some focus. So I said, I'm putting the camera down. I'm only shooting my own commercials for my own business. And people kept calling to ask for videos, which is really hard to turn down. Well, you could make in a day what you're making in a week. But I had that was my first practice in being able to cut the fat. Mm-hmm. So some people need to practice cutting the fat. Like there's something that you need to cut right now. And I'm telling you, it's going to distract you and take you away from your major, major success. So, dang, this is a really, really good conversation.
And sometimes the things that you have to trim, that fat that you have to trim, hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it hurts. Bigger than financially, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's soul crushing.
Yeah.
Soul crushing. Like even when I walked away from the network marketing industry, I was involved in that industry for years, and I had built this audience of people, this following, this community of people who looked at me as their voice of hope. Wow, if she can do it, she's a single mom, she was broke, she had this going on. I can relate to her because her story, like the journey that she's gone through is the space that I'm in right now. And I wear other people's emotions, right? That's why I got out of personal development coaching, because you come to me with certain problems, I can't sleep at night. Yeah. Like I'm thinking, how do I go to sleep after you told me what you told me that you're going through? And so even breaking up with that community felt like I was turning my back on people. And I struggled with that. I built this audience of this community of thousands of people, especially women, who looked at me like, I'm going to do exactly what she did. I'm going to do exactly what she did. I'm going to do exactly what she did. And then I quit on them. And that was painful to me for a while.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. And what was your resolve? Like, how did you get over it?
So I had to realize that I did not quit on them. I grew for them. So me being brave enough to walk away from something that to them was bringing them so much hope, but to me was bringing me so much disdain, I had to be brave enough to walk away from that and really, really, really step into my element. I had to really step into my zone of genius and take Donni to the next level. And they're going to be upset for a minute. They're going to be mad for a while. But then when they see how this works out, when you see how it works out and comes together, then you're going to be back. And I'm going to be a bigger voice of hope, for you now. So I had to, my way of really dealing with that is saying, okay, if you walk away from this and you disappoint these people who enjoy hearing from you in these calls, who enjoy seeing you on the stage, who enjoy building from you, you better make this make sense.
Yeah.
And so I had to go out there and make it make sense.
Man, shouts out to my man that was at the boot camp. He was saying one of his biggest concerns were he wanted to move into another industry, but he was really concerned about what his friends would say because he's been in this one industry for a long time.
I remember him.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, how silly. But then I really thought, yo, that's a real thing for people. And they weren't even his clients. He's like, yo, these people aren't even my clients. They're not people that's going to buy from me, but I'm really concerned about what they think. And again, my first thought is, yo, how are you concerned about a group of people who, one, are your friends, so it doesn't matter what you do in terms of business, they should still be your friends. If not, they're not your friends. But two, these aren't even your clients. So go into this space. But I think that's very, very valid, man, because you don't want to hurt people or you want acceptance from people.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely one of my barriers in terms of charging what I'm worth, because I want acceptance. I never want somebody to say, oh, he charged too much. That hurts my feelings, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And it's a true challenge for me, but at some point you got to choose you, right? You got to choose you and say, all right, well, the people that I'm concerned about, they're not asking for my permission to do what they... You feel me? Like, his friends aren't asking him, hey, man, you think it's okay if I switch industries? But what happened was he called his friend, and at the end of the conversation, his friend was like, yo, man, if anybody could do it, you can.
Wow.
He was super relieved. But going back to initial concern, it was all in his head.
Yeah.
So I think the concern that we have for people are all in our head.
Do you think it's in your head? Charging what you're worth?
100%.
So what did you do? Because you have since, I know I've been on you for years about your prices and why they are what they are. And even just encouraging you in a way to say, hey, I don't even think you realize how great you are, how valuable you are. And I'm noticing now that you're inching up the ladder in prices, 100%. You're sliding things out. So what was it for you to say, I am just going to go out here and start charging my worth?
It was a philosophy that I got from Marquell. So Marquell, and he's been saying it for a while, but he finally convinced me that undercharging people is a disservice to them.
Yeah.
Because if someone, let's say somebody, is that my phone? All right, cool. All right, so we got to pause it because I pray every day at 2:30, and that's my 2:30 alarm. Okay, so I'll pause it and come right back. Hey guys, studio audience, all right? You want to give them a commercial real quick?
Yeah, so this episode...
Right in the middle. Right in the middle.
Right in the middle, you guys. I want to encourage you to connect with us in our text community because we drop free game all the time. Like, we're not going to sell anything right here. Are you dropping free game in your text community?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But my number is on my phone, and I don't know my number.
So while we're getting your number, I'm going to give you mine.
Okay. Yeah,
so you guys connect with me. Text me social proof. So I know that you came from the podcast. Text me social proof and get added to my text line. I give away business tips. I also have some paid membership groups too that you can be a part of. You'll find out about at the end of the episode. But if you just want occasional free game and you want your girl checking on you, hit me at 404-737-2767. One more time, that's 404-737-2767. Text me the words social proof.
Yep. Mine is 404-737-4935. I got to pray. It's 2:30. I'm out. I'll be right back. Welcome back, y'all. Are we on? We recording back? Okay, cool. So where were we? What were we just saying just now? Because Marcus Rosier.
Marcus Rosier. Marcus Rozier is in the building.
So, all right. So what were you just talking about in terms of?
We were just talking about the things that we do that are not for us, but for them.
It's for them.
Air quotes, yes. Them, right? So.
You know what? I want to get those Louis sneakers for my wife, but you said they're $1,300?
I believe these were $1,300.
And she don't go nowhere. So if I'd have bought them for her, it don't really come back to me. It's just, it might come back in love. I don't know. But I need $1,300 worth of extra love.
You're absolutely gonna, so she's about to be carrying around a new baby, sometimes a car seat without you, and a baby bag. She deserves these Louis Vuitton sneakers on her feet.
She do deserve them joints. Those are fire.
Thank you. For those of you guys who, you know what I mean, just...
Those are fire.
Thank you.
It's just my only problem is you don't wear socks.
I don't.
I mean? That's my only challenge.
I only wear socks. So I will wear a little footy in the summertime if it's super hot because your feet sweat. But it's cold outside. So Louis Vuittons are a little different. They don't have what yours have on the inside. They are made to be just a little breathable. I mean, you first of all, you got a Rolex on, right? So you know the difference between your Fossil and your Rolex.
That's real. That's real. Right. Those are nice shoes. But so we were talking about buying stuff for other people, right? And and maybe it's not like, okay, you just bought 2 cars, one for your daughter and one for you, 2 Mercedes. And it's not necessarily what people say, oh, you got a Mercedes, let me give you some money.
Yeah.
How is that working? Like, how does it?
So I have driven a Chevrolet Equinox, every new model, every year for a long time. And every single time.
Average ball, and I get the new Equinox.
I get the new one, okay? Run it.
See the average ball. Average stunt.
And so, it's the average stunt. And honestly, it was one of the first cars that I was, that was purchased or driven after I lost everything. So it was just something that I was comfortable with. I didn't have to worry about maintenance and oil changes. It was just a good car, right? I had luxury vehicles back in the day. So it was just a good car. So it was Shan's, and shout out to David Emanitier and Justin Owens, 3 of my strong male influences in my life, who all said, Donni, you got to get another car. Like, you can't be walking around here making all of this money and you pulling up in a dirty Chevy Equinox, right? Because I don't get the car washed, or it's clean on the inside, but the tires look filthy. I still have the car. Anyway, so y'all are all in my ear. You got to get another car. You got to get another car. So I went shopping to buy my daughter a Mercedes SUV. I had no intention of buying a car. None. And I'm at the dealership and I'm looking at these cars and I'm testing them out for her. And I'm like, this does feel a little different. This feels nice.
Don't feel like the Equinox to it.
It does not feel like the Equinox, but I still love the Equinox. I really do. So I'm in the car and I'm like, this feels different. And I think I sent you a text and you buying that for you? I'm like, no, for Deja. You were like, oh, you need to buy it for you. So I bought both cars. I bought 2 Mercedes SUVs. And I did a video showing that I did that because it was a couple of reasons. Like, I remember being so broke that I didn't know how I was going to send my daughter to college, let alone a school as expensive as Auburn University that we pay for cash. And then on top of that, buy her a Mercedes for her first car. I had no idea. Like, I always knew that I was going to get her a car. I always knew that I wanted her to drive luxury. But if I had to opt for something different, I would have created that story, too, right, to get her something. You got a car, right? And so for me, it just meant so much because anytime I do stuff like that, I remember going back to 2009 when my daughter was like 6 years old and I foreclosed on my house and the bank sent a family in and she had this custom room and, Princess Castle, and this family comes in and they got 2 kids and they're arguing in her face over who's going to get her bedroom. Dang. In her face. They're like, the boy and the girl, like, I want the room. I want the room. And I had not cried this entire process. I was in foreclosure for months. And it was that moment that I saw her like standing outside her room looking at these kids fighting over her prized possession. This is where she had her friends and her sleepovers and her braggadocious rights. And I went and sat in my stairwell and I just like burst into tears. And my daughter comes to the stairwell and she's like, Mommy, it's okay. It's okay as long as the boy doesn't get my room. And when that happened, I realized how in tune she was. I realized how much she knew what was going on. And I said, I would never, ever put us in this situation. Like, literally, I didn't just lose our house. I robbed you of what you value most at your 6-year-old life. And so I feel like it's my responsibility to make that up for her because she was never one of those kids who went in the store and had tantrums because I couldn't get something. She didn't even ask. My daughter was just simple. She didn't even ask. So for me...
My mom told me not to ask.
Yeah.
We're about to go in the store. Okay? Like, before we get out,
don't ask.
Don't ask for nothing.
Don't ask.
Don't touch nothing.
Yep. So when I was thinking leading in to buying the car, she didn't get her license until she was 18. So at 18, she got the car. And as the weeks were leading up, I'm looking at cars and I'm like, does she need this? Should I do this? And I said, you know what? She's never asked for much. And that moment of just robbing her of her prized possession, and she never held it against me because children will hold that against you, make you feel terrible and disgusting. It never happened. So I paid her back. I made sure she went to the college of her dreams. Wow. And this car was a big deal for me. And I do intend to buy her a property to live in, like her very first owning property. Those are the 3 milestones that I set for my daughter as a way for me to feel like I did something to make that one moment up for her.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in moving forward and you showing it on social media, what'd that do?
So I showed it on social media. I just shared in my joy. I shared in her joy, and my calendar filled up. People, single moms everywhere. I want to do that. I want to do that. Dads everywhere. Like, I want to be able to do that for my kid. What's the steps? What steps do I have to take to prepare? My kids are 6 years old now. What steps do I have to take to be able to do that? And I mean, a lot of money was made because obviously people want to enroll in my course. They want to work with me. They want to position themselves now. It created a sense of urgency in other people to say, oh, no, I got to do that too. Like, here's just your regular everyday woman. I don't stunt a lot on social media. I'm just your everyday girl next door, living my life. And I come out, having done this. And my daughter's reaction showed how much she deserved it. She didn't run to the car first. She hugged me first. And it just showed her level of gratitude and the lessons that I've taught her. And so many people were attracted to that they calendar booked up and we enrolled, people in the course. I think within the first 24 hours, we may have sold about $30,000 worth of courses from posting that video. And then there's a residual effect because that video now has almost 100,000 views. So it just keeps getting shared and keeps getting shared and keeps getting shared.
Wow. So, that does beg a question. If you should get the new car or you should get the watch, you should present yourself in a certain way. And this is what I found too. some people don't want to do business with you based on the perception that the money they're going to give you is going to pay all your bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a real, you almost like, so for instance, Ryan, you might pull up average person. I'm just good at what I do, and I'm going to give you a certain rate and I'll pay it. But if you pull up in, I don't know, you pull up in a S-Class Mercedes or something like that, they know that this is going to be a premium.
Yeah.
Like, based on the car that you drive, people will make a determination of what they feel like they can pay you or feel like they can get away with. But if somebody already has it, like you don't play with that person because they are there at their level for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Which I think is, savage maybe or judgmental.
It's very judgmental, but I see it all the time. Even if you just scroll through like comments on ads and people are saying, hey, buy this blueprint for $37, and you'll get the one smart alecky comment that says, or he just wants us to buy this course so he can continue to pay for his luxurious condo in the sky that he recorded that video from. And yes, that is the truth. You are contributing to that person's lifestyle, but you're watching the video because a part of you wants that same lifestyle. So do you let your jealousy for what that person has amassed stop you from getting the information?
Yeah.
Or do you want the information?
What do y'all think about that? In terms of, Ryan, I want to hear your perspective because
Get on the mic.
Like you're and I keep picking on him because he's making this transition from full-time employee to full-time employer, right? So when it comes to, what kind of car you drive? What kind of car do you drive? Drive something nice?
Yeah, it's a Ram.
A Ram?
Okay.
A little Ram?
Little Ram. Little flank steak.
So what do you think about buying bait almost or upgrading your presentation for clients? What do you think about that?
I think it definitely carries a perception. Like it helps. Like if I show up like with, I'll give you an example. I'm a videographer, and when I show up, I got a lot of stuff with me. And a lot of clients that I work with, when they see all of that stuff, like they get super excited. And I think every client that I have, I've never had a client complain about my prices. And I feel like I need to charge more, but
I was going to say it's one or two reasons.
but anyway, I think that it's because like they feel like they're getting value because I spend a lot of money on the equipment.
Let me tell you when I talked to Brandon, because he shot the shooters camp. He was like here. And the first thing Brandon said the day before, he's like, I got 2 people that are gonna, they want to come through and shoot. I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. And I was like, are they good? I'm like, this is my question. I said, are they people that like just came out of your camp and they're just looking for an opportunity, or are they good at what they do? He was like, nah, man, dude, Ryan, he got more equipment than me. He was like, he probably got $30,000 worth of equipment on him. And I said, really? That was the conversation. The price point at how much equipment you got created a certain perception in my head about the quality of work. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah. But the difference, what's important though, is that he showed up with $30,000 equipment, did his job, and it was valuable.
And
like his finished product was amazing. He put together he gave you your deliverables within 24 hours, right? So you feel good about that transaction. You feel good about sewing into him, not so he can go off and buy more fancy equipment to do nothing with, but you understand that you got value from it. So I think that's important too. What we were really talking about that started this conversation is how if you do this right, some of the luxury things that we had, you didn't buy that Rolex for you.
No.
You did not buy that Rolex for you. You bought that Rolex because it's a marketing tool.
That's a fact.
It's a marketing tool. It's a validation tool. Right? People see you with that Rolex on your wrist and they're like, oh, he must have some money. And we associate having money with success. So let me connect with this guy, right? What made you buy that Rolex?
The major thing was just environment. I literally was at Marcus's house, him 500, and I was looking at Neil's watch, and I was like, "We got the little Rolex." I talk about. I used to put little in front of it. I got your little Rolex. I see you, bro. And then Jason had one, like a Rolex, just a different kind, is another color. And then Jason said something about Alex's, and then Marcus went and got his. And then Alex came around with something crazy on his wrist. And then I saw, I don't know if it was Marcus' wife or it was somebody else there who had one. I said, oh, what's going on right now?
Did that make you feel less successful?
It didn't make me feel less successful, but it made me feel that maybe yes.
Let me take
Maybe it made me feel less successful.
Inadequate?
I don't know if I would use the inadequate, but wanting to fit in. I want to be a part of the environment.
Mm-hmm.
So, really good. So, like we talked about last time, I went and created an event to help me buy that. I could have bought it, but I just can't. I'm not at a level where I'm just going just to keep up with y'all. I'm just going to take money out of my account and just do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, I got to figure out a way to get something to pay for this. So a couple weeks later, I went and got it. But if I had not been in that environment, I wouldn't have done what I did to get the money. And then we've now done it twice, and it's a part of my business now. So being in that environment, it made me want to stretch for more.
So I have two questions. The first one is, did purchasing that watch increase your business?
I think it did in a couple ways. One, your presentation is everything. Like your presentation, people will look at you differently. Like, oh, let me see that. Oh, that's nice.
I'm practicing what you're doing.
For sure. Yeah, you're gonna go grab your joint.
Okay.
Here's what I don't like though. So I'm always here with it, right?
Yeah, you are.
Always. But now that I have it, it seems like I'm doing it on purpose. Mm-hmm. So go back to my last episode. I still have my hand here. Mm-hmm. It just happened to be an Apple Watch or something like that. But now I put it away because I don't want nobody to think I'm trying to do. Anyway, actually the first episode that I started wearing it, like I roll up my sleeves, right? And then Donni like, oh, you rolling your sleeves up because you got your long watch on. Yeah. I got long arms. But
let me say this though, to you guys back there. Don't you see this from all the way back there? Do you see immediately, like you look at it and you see the watch from all the way back there? You probably didn't notice the Apple Watch from all the way back there. And
you didn't notice the Apple
you didn't notice the Apple Watch from all the way back there. And I personally think Apple Watches are pretty fancy, right? I do. Now, let me ask you this. I got a second part to that question.
But the second part is, I think anything you do, you get to, you buy a fresh pair of sneakers, you walk with a little, you're fresh.
No scuff marks.
You get a haircut, you're fresh. You walk with a little swagger, right? So I think having a watch, and I want to get another one because I'm in the environment again, and Rashad and Troy, Trap, they just went to a whole nother level with the joint, which is literally like 4 of these watches. But I think once you have it, you walk with a little more, I've earned this, and I have more confidence.
Your posture changes.
Your posture does change. Your posture changes when you jump out of the Mercedes. But like, we can admit it or not, but your posture changes when you walk out of it. And I think people are attracted to that.
Yeah. So, and I think it's what you perceive. Like, I pulled up right at the front door in my Chevy Equinox. Like, what's the good? I did. I don't care what you think about what I drive. Just like I pull up in the car. I got the car. It was so Donni, you need to get the car.
But does the posture change though?
The posture may have changed just a little bit. It may have changed just a little bit because I still didn't buy the big boy Mercedes, right? But it's a nice vehicle. The posture may have changed just a little bit. If I buy when I buy the Rolex, the posture may change a little bit. Let me ask you this though. Before you purchased this Rolex, and you were in this environment where you see Marcus and Neo and Trap and all of these people with these, I think Trap got his after you, but you see these Rolexes, did it make you feel like that made them more successful? Having those contributed to their success? Like, did you feel like, I need that to take me to the next level?
I didn't think I needed it to take me to the next level, but I feel like there's certain people you don't play with. Like if Neo, he did the mastermind. It was, it was a $5,000 mastermind. Because of like the things that he has and does, I'm not gonna try to get $500 off. It's not, let me do $4,500. You feel me? Because I know the game, just based on the trappings of what they have. Like it's certain, you would feel uncomfortable haggling with them. You know what I mean? So I don't think it, I think it was just being a part of, I don't know, just going to another level. Let me tell you this. So I lived on the South Side for a little while I was working at the Cheesecake Factory. Then I moved to Claremont. And somebody told me, he said, yo, when you pay more for rent, you'll make more money. And I started making more money when I paid more for rent. I don't know why.
It happened to me too.
Really?
Yep. Started making more money when I paid more for rent.
You know, that's why when my wife says she wants to design her house and she just wants land and buy, I'm like, I'm not as afraid of it as I would have been.
See, I'm just not sure if it was because I pay more rent and people like that and they want that and they decide to do business with me. I don't know if it's that or if it's my mindset associated with the fact like, damn, I pay more rent now. I got to get it.
Right.
We got to up the effort. We got to increase the effort. So I think all of those things make a difference. When your bank account is light, $20,000, $40,000, $50,000 because of a watch, you're going to go back out there and make that money back. Right? So I think those things all play a role. But I was telling you earlier off camera, those red bottoms that I had on when I walked in, Steve Madden makes a version of those, right? For like $80. I like Steve Madden, but I understand because I'm a personal brand and people are driven and motivated by lifestyle. They need to see a little bit of that. It's how you guys associate that somebody may have a level of success. It's even how we associate it. I don't want to just say it's the audience that watches us. We look at somebody pull up in a Rolls Royce. We look at the Marcus Rosier's
perception.
Who, owns 2 Teslas for no reason at all.
And he just bought another Corvette.
And he bought a Corvette. He got cars in different states that he doesn't even live in anymore.
And you know what? You see that normally, and they're doing some kind of car rental service. He don't even rent them out.
He doesn't rent them out. He owns them and he drives them whenever he feels like it.
That's wild.
So I look at things like that, and I think those are Yeezys that he's wearing right now. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I look at
the
things.
Gucci belt. Did you see the Gucci belt?
And the Gucci belt.
The new one.
Yeah.
The double G on top. You know what I mean?
I didn't even know there was a new one. But I say that to say, I'm still trying to get the old one, right? I say that to say we see things even still at our levels and say, man, they must be getting it.
Absolutely.
And so the people who are doing the Rolls Royces and the Bentleys and the people who are paying cash for their mom's houses, that's the level of environment and increase that we need to see to take us to the next level, because multiple 6 figures and 7 figures just ain't it. It's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
And here's what I'm concerned about too is that people are watching at home and they're like, oh, it's all about the money and they're greedy and all that kind of stuff. And I hope y'all don't get that from the conversation, but it's like trying to decode this whole getting to the next level thing. It's like a formula to consider, right? Like, what are the things? Okay, can I get to the next level? And how do I play into the perception? Now, again, you have to perform. Like, it's not like we're not stretching beyond our means, like in terms of like going to get a really, really expensive car and now you got to struggle to pay for it. That's not what we're saying. But like, there's certain things that I don't need like chains and all that kind of stuff. And I'm cool. That's why my wife was talking about the house. I'm like, yo, our house is fine. Like, we don't need all that. But I want to go get it because of a feeling that's going to be created. Me giving my wife the feeling of getting her dream home will prompt some sort of activity in me to go to another level. You can't play with me. I'm starting to understand my value more because there's certain things that I want. And you undervaluing me will prevent me from the feeling that I really, really want of my wife having
You
her
better
dream home.
preach that word. And listen, this works at any level.
100%.
Right? This works at any level. It doesn't have to be Louis Vuitton sneakers and red bottoms and Rolexes and big houses. This could be you being that person in your circle right now, and maybe your environment, your immediate circle, the people who look up to you, maybe they need to see you with a fresh cut every Friday, right? To be inspired to go and
Should I have gotten a haircut? Do I look crazy?
No, because you're covered up.
I mean, but here.
I mean, you always look crazy there, but anyway, so it could be, you know, that they just need to see you. You may be the person who's always ironed and pressed and fresh out of the dry cleaners. And that inspires people like, man, he's really always really clean cut. She's always well put together. It's not a monetary value. It's determining what your audience identifies and associates with success. And so I'm going to say this. I was thinking about it when you were saying, oh, there's going to be some people who's saying, oh, y'all are all about the money. Y'all are showing these things to show money. I want you to think about the concept of a commercial. Commercials are created to be evidence that something works. Yeah. So the vacuum cleaner works. The household cleaner works, right? The waist trainer works. Commercials are evidence that something works. So in our industry, because we are entrepreneurs who are growing in a personal brand space in the day and age of social media, our social media is our commercial. It's our commercial. And so everything that we do or the things that we choose to do is evidence that something works. So when I wear the red bottoms, or when I'm just well put together, or I'm happily living my life, or Shans is getting one Rolex and about to get another one, it's literally...
I'm not about to get another one.
He will be getting another one. Maybe not right now, but he will be.
I wouldn't use about.
All it is evidence that something works. It's just evidence that something works. And then there's going to be people who say, oh, well, not all the time. Just because you have these things doesn't mean something works. Well, just because a company advertises an amazing product doesn't mean that their product works either, but they're going to put their best foot forward in showing that it works. It doesn't mean that it does, doesn't mean that it doesn't, but you don't know. Yeah,
you know, it's crazy. We went on the we was on the yacht, right? And Seth was there. And we was at the mastermind. So it's a part of the mastermind.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's not me studying. I didn't pay for a dime for that. But we were on the yacht, and the guy that's driving the yacht, he noticed my watch. He said, "Oh, you got the Rolex? That's dope, man." Because he had one. He had the little Yacht Master joint, and I know that watch $20,000. Mm-hmm. Immediately when I noticed it, I was like, "Oh, is this your boat?" First, I'm thinking he's the person that drives the boat. He just picks people up. When I saw him with the watch, I said, "Oh, this your boat?" He's like, "Nah, it's not my boat." But I'm thinking, I had like another level of respect.
You associate
for him, yeah. That's crazy.
That's crazy. And these
maybe I'm wrong for that. Maybe I'm right for that. I don't know, but it's just human.
It's just human. It's just how we've been trained to think, right? Just like some people have been trained to think that their way to building wealth is working 9 to 5 for 40 years or whatever that time frame is. It's based on your environment. It's based on your experiences and what you've been exposed to. And I know that sometimes, when I'm on Instagram, 90% of the time I look a mess. I'm at home, I'm working, I'm chilling. But that other 10%, I'm on and popping. I like to do certain things because I know that the people who follow me and buy into me are people with big dreams. They got big dreams. They want stuff. They desire stuff. So if that's not you, you're not my audience, right? I do what I do because I want people to believe bigger. You got to believe bigger. You got to see it and feel it and visualize it. And if you don't have access to it and there's nobody there to show you, then how do you believe bigger?
Yeah.
We build hope and allow people to build bigger. And then we not just build hope and allow people to build bigger or think bigger, we provide free game that's not free. But the point is we got resources for you to not just dream it, but go out there and get it.
Facts. Golly, man, very interesting. Any input, y'all? I would love to hear your perspective or said any? Go for it.
So I'm kind of in that situation right now, kind of, sort of. Oh, yeah. Because, like, all right, when I first met David, I got in a wreck recently. So I'm in the process of getting a new car. But I pulled up the first day, and David was like, you don't drive? Like, do you Uber? Like, what do you do? And I was like, yeah, bro, I'm Ubering right now. So I know, like, his part of perception of me was like, what's up with this dude? Like, are you good? You know what I'm saying? You straight? But I did before the accident. I drove a nice car. I drove Infiniti. I drove the G35. It's real nice. So I know the outside looking in, let's just say I'm handling some business or something like that. That might be how they view me because they don't see me arriving. They might just see me with my book bag on. And yeah, that's probably all I got. But like how he said, he pulling up with his trunk full of luggage, and it's just a perception. Somebody doesn't know you, so they just trying to like understand, you know what I mean? They just trying to understand what you have to offer, like what's your value. And I do the same thing with people too. Like if someone is just, I can't figure them out or I can't really see what they got going on, I don't judge them, but I would want to understand,
Anytime you draw it out, though, I don't judge them.
Yeah, I don't judge them. Yeah. But it's a real thing, though. It's a real thing, though. Just like real talk. Like David, like how you dress right now, if someone didn't know you, they would think, okay, this dude just got on sweats, he don't care. You know what I'm saying? He's just chilling. But little do they know all the information you could provide. So like I don't never want to like overstep nobody's I just try not to prejudge people on their thoughts. So I'm in between on it. Yeah, it's 50-50 because it's just how, like you said, how people humanly think. So I don't know.
Perception's real, man.
Yeah, it's just all the way around. So
perception's real. And obviously I'm sure somebody is watching this like, yo, well, super successful people, they wear the same clothes every day and all that, which they're not necessarily in brand building.
Exactly. They're not.
You feel me? That's not a brand they trying to build.
Well, and then sometimes when you see that too, you got to think personal brand building.
Not
also.
Personal brand building. And sometimes you be so far up, you don't want nobody to know.
Exactly. It's not, when you see people like that, they look at the Bill Gates and Warren Buffett's living in the same house since, 1930 something or 1940 something, whatever that number is. They weren't building personal brands. Right. And society made it this way. It's not our fault. This is what, just somebody changed the way and I'm gonna go with that mold too. Right. Figure something different out and we'll make that happen. Sure. But society made it this way that in order to build, especially for African-American entrepreneurs who are in our space to prove themselves worthy of teaching you something that you need, we gotta show you the money.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know if y'all remember this Muhammad Ali interview that he had with, it was like an older white guy way back during that time. But the white guy was reading off the article about like why did Muhammad Ali have a Rolls Royce or something like that. And I don't know if he said like his people in his community did it or something like that, but Muhammad Ali said the same thing. He was like, us African Americans, we gotta have these fancy things like these Rolls Royce and these fancy suits and cars and stuff, because if we don't have it, we'll just seem like we're just like the average person, but we have to show what our value so people can respect us because we're already African-American and they view us, majority of them, how they view us. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of times why Muhammad Ali did buy those things. And then he said another great thing too, like when they came to his house, when you walk in, like he's just not gonna be sitting in the living room when you walk in. No, you gonna sit down in the living room and you gonna wait for him. You know what I mean? Like you gotta give him the time. Like
in a one bedroom apartment, like bro, here.
Yeah, like you just not, you're not just like Michael Jackson,
parking lot,
like the president. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure, like you just not walking into the White House and Barack Obama just. I mean, he might have greet you, but like you gonna wait. You know what I'm saying? That's a value, and so like it's hard for us to. It's not harder for us, but we do have to do that to show our value in our entrepreneurial space and just our space overall. So
that's a fact.
Yeah, I want to hear from the audience on this. So wherever you're watching this, wherever you're sharing this, comment and let us know, like, what is your perceived value associated with success when you're choosing the people who you are purchasing specifically information from, specifically information, what do you use to gauge whether or not this is a person who can help you?
Yeah.
What do you choose to gauge whether or not that person has actually got results or receipts or whatever? Like, what's your determining factor?
Yeah, it's a game to play. And now that you know the game, right or wrong, it is a game to play. Like, if you can if you can learn how to play the game, it's not wrong to learn to play the game. Anybody got a question? You good? What's up? Go for it, right?
I just wanted to mention that I don't volunteer the information to my clients that I have a full-time job because some businesses won't work with you if they think that this is just your...
Even if you could do the work, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
That's deep, ain't it?
It is.
Perception.
It is. People look at you. Now, I remember when I was trying to get off my job or when I was working my way off my job, I never hid the fact that I went to work. I never hid the fact that I had a job, but I did notice the difference in how seriously people, like, I was legit building I had a 6-figure job and a 6-figure business. It didn't matter to some people, though, that I had a 6-figure business. When I say, oh, I have a job, so I'm working until 6. Can we do something at 6:30 in terms of scheduling? Oh, let me get back to you. People judge you. It's like we look down on jobs and like people aren't qualified unless they are able to display that they're rolling in dough on their own time.
100%. Yeah. What's up?
Yeah. Like, I'm glad that like we have like the links where people can schedule because like if I have to take a call, I leave that open block around my lunchtime. Yeah. But like people ask me sometimes and I'll tell them, but otherwise, I know people who, they get concerned that your heart isn't in this. This is just your extra money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Aaron, what's up?
All right, I want to go to a different angle of this. Like with me, I'm somewhat in a relationship field, right? And the first thing a lot of women may say is, well, he isn't married or he isn't this or he isn't that. Like, how can he give me advice? So the one thing I always like to show is my relationship with women. I'm always going to like have videos where I'm talking to different women or, so I want them to see that the women that know me, that I know, they are validating me. So it's good to have a nice car and things like that. But in my world, I think it's more important for me to show the relationships.
For sure.
Since I'm not this married, perfect life having person. Because a lot of women would say, well, why would we listen to him? They could easily go on any of my social medias and say, oh, okay, he knows her. He knows her. He gets along with her. Okay, she likes him. And that gives me a validation
I think
that's
I
a little
say
different.
This, though, because for one, I don't really see a whole lot. Let me put it this way. I more see people talking about relationships who aren't in relationships than those that are.
Yes.
I think because once you're in it, you really know the game. And it's like, I could not tell nobody. Like, I could not go on. I've been married for a couple of years. I'm not coaching nobody in relationships.
Because you can't tell your business, right?
No, it ain't that. It's just, I still don't know what's going on. I don't know how to have a successful relationship. I think we have a successful relationship. Nothing toxic about it. It's awesome, but it's a balancing act. It's balancing. Like, today, it's really good. Tomorrow, the day after that, not so good. The day after that, we good. We're backlit, okay? Yeah. But it's like, I can't coach nobody on this. So I think, and not discrediting the single coach, but it's more single coaches teaching from a perspective of not being in it because that's the real work. You can't, come on, like it's, because the same thing I teach you today, I'm probably going to go against that tomorrow because I'm in a situation where, you talk about having patience and you got to make sure you treat her like a queen. But the next day you're like, I'm not feeling that whole treat you like a queen.
You're not feeling the royal vibes right now.
The royal vibes. There's no royal vibes here, okay? And I got to get over my feelings and all that. Okay. All right, fine. Get your little call. See, Serious podcasting. You got to call in 10 minutes during. Okay, no, I'm just playing.
So you definitely put us on pause earlier.
I know, I'm just joking.
Okay, all right.
I was in
we're going over, a little time. We're just talking right now.
Yeah, we're over time anyway. But
I do agree. This is a good episode.
Yeah.
I do get it. You do have to show. People want to see relationship coaches in relationships, but there are, even when Dr. Phil was heavily immersed into relationships, he was in a terrible marriage on the back end. And then all of the not all, but many of the social media, what I think people are starting to realize though, is that marriage doesn't qualify you to be good at relationships. And that's what we got to understand. Marriage does not require, it's not required to be good at it. It's not required that you have a business to be able to help a business owner be successful in an element. Maybe you manage the business. Maybe you manage the Fortune 500, somebody else's company, and help them achieve a result. And now I can help you, right? Mm-hmm. So I believe that you should have at least experienced a healthy relationship to know what that looks and feels like. But you don't necessarily have to be in it. And sometimes it's not talking, and this is why I'm really careful with using the word expert. I'm a resource. I'm an authority based on my previous experience, and I will continue to be an authority based on my future experience. All I am teaching is a sum of my experiences to date and the experiences of people that I work with. So you take it and you teach from a place of what you have experienced in toxic relationships and know what not to do, what you've experienced in healthy relationships, knowing what to do. And then even with the people that you've helped, what you see that works, because data is very important.
100%.
And if you've collected the data, then you're qualified to teach something. I am I'm careful with the word expert. Because I'm not an expert. I don't have it all figured out. I can't tell you every single thing about a business. I can tell you what I know.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, man, this is a really good episode. And we just got to let everybody know that this episode is sponsored, as always, by The Morning Meetup, themorningmeetup.com, themorningmeetup.com, the only organization that gathers. Forget our organization, we are a family, a community, a group of people that are entrepreneurs or wantrepreneurs, people that want to get into business, that have a goal, have a dream, and we gather every single day to learn how to be a better entrepreneur, to get in the game, to enjoy the community, feed off each other, expand your network. There's literally hundreds of people on this call every single morning. So go to themorningmeetup.com, and we're going to let you join for just $1, $1, just to see it, just taste test it. Put your toe in the water, see if it's like, and see what it's like. If you don't like it, take your toe out of the water. You only invested $1. Only your toe got wet. But if you really, really want to become this, the person that you see in your dream, it is going to start with community. And you have to be around people who want it just as bad as you do and can give you a resource and connect with each other from all across the country. So go to themorningmeetup.com, themorningmeetup.com, themorningmeetup.com. And also text me. Hold on, Donnie. Hold on. Where's my phone? Do I have my phone? Do I have it? Okay, I want you to text me. Don't go nowhere. Calm down, y'all. It's 404. Send me a text message. And this is going to come directly to my phone. This is my number, y'all. Okay? Don't abuse it.
Hit him on his phone.
404.
737.
All right, 404-737-4935. I just got this phone, so that's why I'm reading it. 404-737-4935. It comes straight to my phone, and I reply sometime, okay? Because a lot of people text me, but I do reply as often as possible. So make sure you go to themorningmeetup.com. Make sure you text your boy. Donni.
This episode is also brought to you by Six Figure EDU. It is the only and most comprehensive community in which we fully develop coaches and consultants. Doesn't matter if you're looking to put together a course, one-on-one packages, or you want to do something done for you, done with you. I am your person to help you build a six-figure coaching business. And I even take it one step further. I understand that entrepreneurs are struggling to promote themselves online, position themselves and their services. So you can text me for just $37 every single month. It's just $37. For $37, I will send you 3 times a day, 3 post prompts to help you tell stories that sell with your social media platform. That's 404-737-2767. I know my number by heart. 404-737-2767 for posts that sell via my group Post to Paid.
There it is. Yeah, look, it's so crazy. Donnie's phone is here and it's on her text messages. And I've been trying my best not to look. It's like, I can see like the people texting and I felt guilty that I was being nosy, but not by default. So can you close that, please? Because it's really bothering me. I've been hustling, and I was like, dang, man, I'm looking at all the
what
people
he's
texting
really trying to do is
it's on. No, look at it. It's open to our text messages.
The phone, it's just been open the whole time,
if
right?
somebody's phone is open to text, would you want to like look a little bit? Like just see, would you? You think?
He's a creep.
It's
He's a creep, you
Yeah, and I
guys.
felt like a creep, so I wanted to say it.
You are a creep.
in
David has
person.
literally grabbed my phone out of my hands before to read my text messages. Trying to see what's up.
I'm nosy, man.
Because he's so desperate for me to get married.
I'm desperate. I want my sister out here, man. Goodness gracious. Anyway.
We gotta go.
We gotta go. Thank you. You want to close with some words of wisdom? You got a word of wisdom?
I did. I always give the words of wisdom. You listen, let's do this. Word of wisdom. Ball in your lane. Show success as it's relevant to you. Mm-hmm. Don't look at what me or him or anybody else have going on because we are in our lane. I'm in my lane.
Yeah, also, it's the straw that broke the camel's back. It's the little things piled on top of the things that you're trying to do, which kills your chances for success.
Yeah. And this has been years in the making. This is not a result of overnight success. This is not a result of microwavable situations. This has been years in the making. And right now, the things that you see in people that you admire, they're getting what they deserve based on that work and that effort that they've put in. And you keep doing the work, you keep giving the effort, and what you deserve, what you want, what you believe you deserve will come to you as well.
And go get a Rolex.
Yeah, go get your Rolex.
All right.
Or your Fossil,
listen,
whatever.
Do me a favor, man. Go get you some social proof. I just want you to go build something, okay? Let other people see what you're building. Document the journey. But then go back to your community and teach somebody else how to do what you did. All right? We're out of here. Peace.
We're out.